And welcome all. Thanks for joining the first chat session, uh, live session. This session is being recorded, so you can always go back and watch it later. For those who are not able to join, that's fine. I'll send out the link to the video. Um, I'm not a native American speaker, so if you have any problems understanding me, feel free to type it in the chat box. Um, so today's goal is I want to go over the two trading platforms, ThinkorSwim from Ameritrade and Tastyworks. And ThinkorSwim is a very complicated platform, so this is by no means an in-depth training session. I'll just be covering, going through an overview of both the platforms, and I will start with ThinkorSwim. And I'll just go through the basics of how the platform looks like and only focus on what you need to be able to participate in the next challenge. And I have a 12-week course laid out in front of me, which I'll be going through every week, going into the details of options and complications of the platform and advanced stuff. But today it's just the overview. So hopefully I'll be able to cover as much as I can in the 45 minutes I have reserved. So let me share my screen. Okay, so if you can see my screen, I'll start with, I'll just talk about first ThinkorSwim and Tasty Trade. So I have used many platforms over my 15 years of the trading I have done. I've used Charles Schwab, I've used E-Trade, I've used Scott Trade, Tastyworks, obviously, ThinkorSwim. So I've used many, Robinhood, many platforms. So by using the platforms, I eventually ended up with Tastyworks and ThinkorSwim, which in my opinion are really the top-notch platforms, especially if you are doing options trading. So ThinkorSwim, in my opinion, is a extremely complex platform. I mean, I don't know how many years it took them to build it, but I mean, it has like uh, it, you can use it for very advanced stuff. You can use it for basic stuff. So today I'll just be covering the basics so that you don't get overwhelmed, because it's very easy to get overwhelmed by ThinkorSwim. Tastyworks, on the other hand, was also built by the original ThinkorSwim founder, Tom Sosnoff, who was a very seasoned options trader. He sold ThinkorSwim to Ameritrade for $600 million, and then he went on to launch Tastyworks, which is he has his own trading methodology. So Tastyworks is basically meant to to execute his trading methodology super easy. But if you have read my book, which I'm assuming you have, uh, Tastyworks works just great for my methodology too. So let's just start with ThinkorSwim first. Again, ThinkorSwim is owned by Ameritrade. And to download ThinkorSwim, all you have to do is, I mean, these days everything is Google, right? So just look for ThinkorSwim download, and then it'll take you to TD Ameritrade site. You do need an account with Ameritrade to download it. So you just click install ThinkorSwim, and you can start from there. It does work on Macs. It's written in Java, so it works on all platforms, Windows, Mac. They have a beautiful mobile app, which I use all the time. In fact, I hardly use their desktop platform because I'm on the go. So I place a lot of my trades just from the mobile app. So that's about the platform. Let's launch. So once you download the ThinkorSwim platform, you will get an icon like this. And let me launch that. Okay. So when you launch it, you have two options: live trading and paper money. That's another really powerful thing that's built into thinkorswim is you can use paper money and trade as if you're doing real life trading and without putting your money at risk while you're learning your trading methodology or are getting comfortable with it. So let me just use that. The user ID and password for live and paper money are the same, so I'll just log into paper money. Okay, so when you launch paper money, so this is the entire workspace. I know it looks overwhelming if you haven't seen this before. So this is the main area where you are going to place your trades, view charts, and all that stuff, or your position statement. Everything is here, and then on the side it shows you a summary of your account. Um, you know, this area is completely customizable. I have added live news here, but you can remove it. I don't want Trader TV, for example. You just click on this and say delete gadget. You can have your watch list here, which I'll be sharing after this meeting. I'll have my watch list shared with you guys. So, and again, this workspace is completely customizable. Um, and they have tabs here. Like, let me move this window here. Okay. So they have tabs like monitor, which is where you see all your positions, any orders that are pending. You can place orders. Sorry, you can place orders. To place the orders, you go to trade tab. Um, then there's analyze tab, scan tab, market watch, charts. I use charts all the time. When you start thinkorswim, the charting is very basic, and if you have read my book, I use a certain set of indicators which will not be available here, but I'll be sharing my workspace settings with you guys, which will make this platform look exactly the way it looks on my machine. So let me in fact show you how to do that. So I'll be sharing this link in the email after this call. So once you have the link, you just click it, go to your browser, and it will tell you that 25K challenge workspace, and you can choose view in thinkorswim. Let's do that. Okay, so now it says the workspace has been saved as something from 25K options challenge. So let's do okay on that. And then once the workspace is loaded in thinkorswim, all you have to do is switch to that workspace. To switch to that workspace, you need to go to this setup icon here, and you will see at the bottom that shared workspace is available. Just choose that, and then thinkorswim will customize itself, and from that point on it will look exactly like what I see on my screen every single day. So for example, if you go to the charts now, the charts have the same settings that I use. For example, the Keltner channels are here, the Bollinger Bands are here, DMI is here, the RSI indicators. So all the indicators that I use in my book are here. And similarly, I'll also be sharing my watch list with you in the email which I'll send after this session. So the same process for that. Um, you, once you click that link, it will take you to ThinkorSwim's website. It will show you that it has 25K watch list. And all you have to do is click on view in thinkorswim. Once you do that, it will say the watch list has been saved as from 25K options challenge. Click OK and close this for now. let's go back to the ThinkorSwim platform again. So now if you, on the left side, I was showing you that, you, all these widgets are customizable. So there's live news and there's watch list. The watch list that you just imported will start showing up here. So all you have to do is click on this, go to personal, and then you will see that the watch list I shared with you is available here. Once you choose that, these are all the stocks that I trade and are also on my website. So another cool feature I really like about ThinkorSwim is all these windows, you can link them together. By linking, what I mean is, if you see this thing called symbol link, you can choose, for example, yellow here, and let me go to the chart area and say yellow. Now what that does is it syncs these two windows together. So now if I click on BKNG on my watch list, it will automatically load the chart for BKNG. Similarly, I can link the news widget to the same yellow flag, and now my news is linked. All these three windows are linked together. So if I click on Microsoft, the news from Microsoft is here, the charts from Microsoft is here. So it's really handy. Like, you don't have to go to each window and reload your reload the symbol again and again. So that's the workspace setting and the watch list setting that I was talking about. One thing I want to mention is just a quick comparison about commissions. So ThinkorSwim, uh, as you may be aware, all the brokers are dropping their commissions to near zero. So really, commissions is not an issue at all these days. When I started out, I mean, I was paying $10 per options trade. And frankly speaking, in my opinion, I never really bothered about commissions. And, like a lot of Robinhood people went to Robinhood because they had zero commissions. But look what's happening with Robinhood's platform. What I really care is the platform that I choose, is it delivering the value for the money that I'm paying them? So I don't mind paying at all. And if you don't have the right platform, you may be saving $2 in commissions, but you may be losing thousands of dollars in maybe slippage, which is different between bid and ask spread. If the platform is not cannot support, like Robinhood is, what's happening with Robinhood these days, it's going down almost every day, then you're losing much more than that small commission fee that you're trying to save. So I never care about commission, but anyway, since we're on that topic, so ThinkorSwim for options trading has 65 cents fee per contract commission. That's how they charge it. So since I only trade spreads, so that would mean two option contracts for one trade. So you can just multiply 65 cents divided by two, multiply by two. So that's your commission, which I think is hardly anything. Now, if you compare that to Tasty Works, so for Tasty Works, they have opening commission of $1 per contract. So that means you'll be spending $2 for opening a trade, the spread trade, but they don't charge anything to close your trade. So I think that's also really reasonable. So that's as far as the commissions are concerned. So let's go back to ThinkorSwim. So as I mentioned, uh, paper trading is built into ThinkorSwim. It's not available in Tastyworks yet, and in my opinion, it's really, really top notch. I mean, there is literally no difference between live trading and paper trading. The way they have designed it is just beautiful. And so when you start out, what you will see is an empty screen here, and they'll give you $100,000 to start with for paper trading. I highly recommend that you don't use $100,000 because that's unrealistic, because we are starting with 2,500. So you should start with 2,500 here, and you can adjust that. And the way to do that is in the monitor tab, you go to activity and positions, then go to adjust account, and then you will get this screen. you can choose here. You can just open this drop down. It's giving you a few options of how much money do you want in your account. You can just type it here. You can say 2,500. And then what this setting is, let's say you after this meeting you go ahead and try it, right? And then you try to place a few trades. Now your account will have a few trades in, and tomorrow morning you want, like, I want to follow Nishant's next trading challenge. So you want to start from scratch with 2,500 and no trades. You can always click reset here, and that will remove all the trades from your account, and you'll be basically back to zero, back to 2,500. So you can always reset your account, which is really handy. So this is how you set you click apply, and then you will notice that your option buying power is 2,500 and your net lick or net liquidation value is 2,500. That's all you really need to focus on. Ignore Forex because obviously we are not doing that. So that's how you get your account your account started. So the next thing is I want to talk about uh, placing trades. So to place trades in ThinkorSwim, you go to this tab called Trade. And then what you do is you can type your symbol here. Let's try Apple, AAPL. And what that does is, since this platform, you can always do, you can buy and sell stocks, but this platform is designed for options trading. So okay, guys, I just got a message that my internet connection is unstable. So if you can't hear me, please type it in the chat window. Um, just FYI, I live in rural New Mexico. So, and I'm on DSL, believe it or not. So it's really slow internet. So sometimes it does happen. Anyway, switching back to the trade tab. So once you put a symbol in, it brings up this view for you. And then all it is the name of the stock, the current price, bid and ask spread, B and A, and then it shows you again this some more information here: the volume, open price, high, low, all that stuff, and then it shows you the option chain, which is what we are interested in. So as you can see here, it's showing you different option expirations. So for example, the first one says 13 March is the expiration date. There are 4 days left for it, and it's a weekly expiration cycle. So as you may or may not know, options have weekly expiration and monthly expiration. So you can choose whatever you want, but it clearly highlights the weeklies versus monthlies. So you can say 4 days to expiration here, 11 days to expiration here, 18 days, 27 March. So this is the summary. So let's say I want to put a trade. So let's say I put a trade alert for an Apple bull call spread. And I give you the expiration of 9th April. All you have to do is expand this, and that will show you all the calls and puts. Again, I'm assuming whoever has joined this challenge is already aware of options, calls, puts, all that stuff. So making that assumption, I'm proceeding with that in mind. So when you expand an option chain, all option chains usually look the same on any platform. You will have calls on the left side, puts on the right side, and then you have strike in the middle. And then in ThinkorSwim, everything is customizable, but this is what it comes with. It has ask, bid, intrinsic value, theta, delta, probability, and implied volatility. But don't worry about that right now. All we care about is how do we place trades. So let's say we want to buy Apple is at 266. So let's say I put an alert out saying that I'm going to buy 270, let's do 265 and 270 bull call spread. And let me summarize that. What that means is when I say a bull call spread, it is I'm buying a 260 call here, and then I'll simultaneously sell a 270 call. So that makes my spread. So one long position, one short position. So, um, if you just click the ask next to a strike like this, it'll pull up this screen where it's assuming that you are buying a single one quantity call option for Apple. But we don't want to do that. I always do spread. This call option currently is trading for $2,390. So sometimes if you accidentally do that, you will see that it just shows you it's not a spread, it's a single. You're just buying a call. So just be aware of that, that it should show you two options. And to do that, what you do is you don't click any of this. You right click on the ask column. This is the ask column. So you write 260, let's find that, and you right click here, and that will bring up this menu. You just go to buy, and it has tons of options because with options you can get really creative about what kind of trade you're putting on. Since I do only vertical spreads, so you can skip all of this and just go to vertical. So once you choose that, thinkorswim automatically will try to constitute a spread for you, and this is the way it looks like. So it says spread is vertical, then there's a buy side and a sell side. The quantity is one for buy, one for sell, which is fine. Same symbol, same expiration. Then let's look at the strike part. So it's saying that we are buying a 260 call, but we are selling a 262 call. But we don't want to do that. So if you remember, I was saying that the hypothetical the trade alert that I sent out was buy a 265 call, sorry, buy a 260 call and sell a 265. So make sure that you adjust this. So 260, we are buying the 260. Click on this drop down. You can choose whichever strike you want. In our case, it's 265. So now going on to the right side, it's showing you how much price you'll be paying. It's a debit spread. So you are paying $3.11. Since options have a multiplier of 100, you're paying $311. And then you have the order type limit, which is fine. And this is the expiration, the good till canceled or day is fine. So once you do that, you can click confirm and send. And I always take my time to look at the screen before I click send, because it summarizes what you are trying to do. So here it says, it's a summary of what you're doing. Buy one vertical Apple 9th April 265 call. And the price is 311. But then it summarizes here what exactly you are doing. Give me 1 second. I think somebody sent a chat message. Make sure I don't miss that. Okay, so I have two questions. Let me get back to these questions in a second. So, the first question, let me click. So let me go back to the screen because somebody asked, is this a limit order? Yes, I always place limit orders. I never do market orders because there's no guarantee at what price the platform will fill you. So, and thinkorswim and tasty trade both always default to limit orders. You can see that here, order type limit. You can always choose market order, but it's default to limit, which is good for us. And then somebody is asking, how do you choose the price for the limit order? So again, thinkorswim will automatically pick the mid price. of this spread for you, and it does a pretty good job of that. But you can always play around with that. So you're not you're not limited to this price that it's suggesting you. Let's say you only want to pay $3 for this. Just delete that, and then you can change it here. So now when you click confirm and send, so now it's showing you the summary. So maximum profit for this trade is $200. Maximum loss is 300. And then it shows you the commissions, $1.30, and buying power effect. You don't need to worry about that. But basically just keep an eye on these two, market maximum profit and maximum loss. So once you do that, you can click send, and now your order goes into the queue. So now you can close this and then switch to monitor tab, where you will see all your working orders. So right now, unfortunately, the market is closed, so this order will not get filled. But if you do it during market hours, then the order immediately gets filled. So that's how you place a debit spread, and then uh, once the once the order gets filled, it will show up here. So this section called position statement, you will see all your positions here. And then once the order is filled, you can right click this, and I'm not getting the option to close the trade, but you'll see an option to close the trade. Okay, so let's see what else I got. Okay, so I think Nina, was that somebody? Yeah, Nina asked me, this is kind of a slightly complicated, not complicated, a slightly advanced way of placing an order. Nina asked me a question earlier. How do you put a stop loss once you place an order? So again, going back to my book, if you remember, when I place orders, if I lose 50% of my initial investment, I always close that trade. So now I don't use any automated stop loss or anything like that to close my trades, because I like to watch my positions on a daily basis. And I feel like that keeps me engaged in the market. But you can always do that. I mean, the ThinkorSwim platform is extremely advanced, and it does let you do that. So let me just show you how we can achieve that. So basically what we are trying to do is we are placing an order, and if we lose 50% of our initial investment, the order will get closed at the same time automatically without your involvement. So let's pull up something else like Amazon. Okay, so we have Amazon here. Let's expand 9th April. And Amazon's current price is 1800. So let me buy a 1800 vertical. So it shows an 1800 call, which I'm buying +1 or buy, and then 1810 call, which is sell or -1. So that'll cost me $5.78. Now, just for easier calculations, let's make it $6. So click confirm and send. Now it's showing me my maximum profit is 400, but I'm putting up 600, so I can lose 600. So now going back to Nina's question, what she wants is, if I lose $300 here, this position should get closed. So let's see how we can achieve that. So if you notice here in this section called advanced order, it says single order. But what you can do is you can open that, and you have many options. The one we'll use is first trigger sequence. So what that means is, if this order that we're trying to place gets executed, then it will trigger a sequence of additional orders, which we'll be adding here, which I'll show you right away. So let me choose that first trigger sequence. Now we have to create the sequence that we are trying to accomplish. So I'll right click on this and say create opposite order. Now, when we are placing the order, it's a debit spread, so we are paying some money to buy the spread. When we close it, we are doing the opposite order. We are selling the spread back into the market, hoping that we'll make some money. So this is the closing order. It's the opposite order. So we do that. So now it's you'll notice that the debit spreads are in green and credit spreads are in red. So it's the exact opposite of the trade that we are going to place. So the 1800 call which we are buying we'll be selling that back into the market, and same thing for the call we are selling, we are buying it back. So that will be our closing order. So now how do we achieve what Nina is asking about? Do this only if I lose half of my investment. So for that, if you come here where it says order, you can choose something called stop or stop limit. So this is how you put a stop loss. So let's just say if I choose stop, what happens? So now what I'm saying is, if so I bought the spread for $6. So if the spread goes my way, its value will keep increasing. So maybe 1 week later it becomes $7, 2 weeks later it becomes $8. So it will keep increasing. But if it starts going against me, the spread will start losing its value. So now what I want to do is I want to say, if the spread loses its value and goes down to 3, which is half of what I put up, then then execute this order which I'm trying to show you. And in this case, it's a market order. So the moment my spreads value hits 3, which means I have lost half of my investment, this trade will get placed and the position will get closed. But so this is one way of doing it. What I do is I don't like to do stop orders, because what happens is the moment a stop gets hit, it the trading platform will place a market order immediately, and whatever price is out there, it'll get filled. So you may get filled at a really low price, which is not what you want. So I always do a stop limit order. And what that means is my condition is the same. I'm saying if I lose half of the value, then sell the spread back into the market, but I'm also specifying a price. So I'm saying sell it back into the market, but sell it at $3. I don't want to get whatever price is out there available for me. So I always do a stop limit order. So once I do this, I can click confirm and send, and then you can see your order 1 description and order 2 description. Only when the order 1 gets executed will the order 2, the trigger will be put in place. So that's how you achieve automatically taking care of the 50% loss rule. So let me see if there are any other questions. Somebody saying I use interactive broker as we don't have Tasty Works or TOS in Canada. Okay, so if you use some other platform, if you don't have the option to trade a spread, although I think most platforms do have the option, you can manually construct a spread. So in this case, let's say if you wanted to, the price of Amazon is 1800, and if you want to buy a bull call spread, you can always, when there's a simple rule, right? If you always buy at ask and you sell at bid. So when you click on this, let's say buy at ask, it's showing me I'm going to buy this call. Well, in ThinkorSwim, I can always press Control and then do 18. Where is it? 1810. Sell at bid, and that will add to the order. So now, let's say you are using E-Trade or some other platform. You can always construct your spread like that. So you choose the individual legs, and that will make it a vertical. But just make sure that that before you execute, the whole position is going to be sent together. So you don't want to buy a call first, and then when that gets filled, then sell the call. You always want to do it at the same time. Okay, one more question I have is, how do I know that my order gets for filled for a price? So when you do a vertical spread in ThinkorSwim, it automatically picks the mid price. So once you put the trade on, once you send the order, you can always go to monitor tab and it shows you which all orders are pending. So it says working orders. And then once the order gets filled, you'll get a notification. And then in this section where it says position statement, these quantities will become 1 and 1. That means that position is filled. And then these columns like profit loss per day and profit loss open, they will start showing you some values as the spread moves up and down. You will see that you're either making money or losing money. So that's how you find out if your order got filled. And obviously, the working orders, the order will disappear from here. It will move to filled orders. That's how you will see which orders got filled. Okay, I think I have covered the basics of ThinkorSwim. Do you have any questions before I move to TastyWorks? TastyWorks is much easier than this, so that will not take much time. So if you have any questions, please type it in the chat window. Okay, so the other question is how can we place orders on the mobile app? So since I'm unable to share my screen right now, so what I'll do is after this session, I'll take a screen recording of my phone, and when I send you the video for this live session, I'll send you that too. So that way you will know how to do the debit spreads on the mobile app. Okay, so don't have too much time left, so let me move on to TastyWorks and show you how that works. So I already mentioned how the commissions are in TastyWorks is pretty simple. So for TastyWorks, you can just go to tastyworks.com, log in into your account. And then go to the trading platform. I don't know why it's asking me to log in twice, but let me do that. So this is how the TastyWorks platform looks like. There's a bunch of tabs here. And then on the home screen, you can actually follow TastyWorks' own team and see what trades they're placing. Unfortunately, they don't allow you to follow your friends or somebody else. Otherwise, I would have published my trades here and you could have just seen me as I'm doing that. So this is what you can do with them, but I don't follow their team because their trading methodology is very different from mine. So it doesn't work for me. So let's ignore that. So when you log in, you see your net lick here, your buying power here. And then the only thing we are really concerned about is two tabs, which is the trade tab and the portfolio tab. So let's go to the trade tab. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Same thing here that you're seeing in ThinkorSwim. You have your option chain. For example, in this case, it's March 27th that is selected for you. You can click that and choose any other expiration date. And then on the left side, you see calls. On the right side, you see puts. But let's ignore all that because I don't use any of that. So what I do is I always choose this middle tab called curve. So this is my screen all the time. So let's say I want to put a trade on Amazon, or let's change the symbol. So let's do Apple. So you go here and you type your symbol, and then it will bring some information for you like the price, bid and ask. And then since we are doing debit spreads, so they have done it really nicely. So if you just want to buy a call or put, you can just click on call or put. But since I only do spreads, you can click on strategies. And that's where you see a bunch of strategies that you can do here, just like ThinkorSwim. But uh, let's not bother about all of these. What we are doing is verticals, which is our spreads. So you choose vertical, and then in our case right now, so for example, if I want to buy a bull call spread on Apple. The current price is 266. Let's say I want to buy 270, 275 bull call spread. So all I need to do is click on long call vertical. And when you click on that, it kind of shows you, how that trade structure will look like. You will buy a call and you will sell a higher call. So you click on go, and then it brings you to this screen. So on this screen, a few things to be aware of. So it picked the price for you, 262.5. That's the call you're buying. And then 267.5 is the call you're selling. But if you remember, I was telling you that let's buy a 270 call and sell a 275 call. So that's not the price it picked for me. So we can always change that. And the nice thing is you can drag this and change it. So let's take it 270 call. That's the one I'm buying. And then the one I'm selling is 275. So let me change that. So now it says 275 here, 270 here. And it always shows you the debit, the amount you'll be paying for that. The other thing that tripped me initially when I was learning this platform is for some reason it selects the wrong expiration date for me. Like in this case, it's 18 days. But if you notice in the method I follow, it's always like 1 month. So make sure the expiration date is correct. So to make sure the expiration date is correct, you can go here, which says time minus time plus. So if I click time plus, now it says 25 days, time plus 31 days. So just make sure that the expiration date that I alerted is the one that gets selected here. So once you do that, and you can play around with this, like you can move the strikes back and forth, 267, 272. You can move the strikes, but you can always drag them to yourself. You can change the quantity of the number of contracts you want. I always do one, so let's leave it like that. So once you do that, then let's look at the bottom part here. Now here, just like ThinkorSwim, it automatically pick the limit order for you, which is 265 in this case. You can always change that. Let's say you're not happy with this. Let's make it 260. You can do that. It's a debit order. You can choose valid for a day. And then it's showing you again the debit price here, 31 days. And it gives you a nice summary here too, like you're buying an option. One option, April 9th, expiration days, 31 days to go, 270 call. Selling an option, 275 call. So once you do that, you click review and send. And then I personally take a moment and look at this screen before I click send order, just to make sure that everything looks right. So the things I pay attention to is the strike price should be correct, 275, 27. So the green is buy. So I'm buying a 270 call, selling a 275 call. Then the expiration, 31 days to go. This is the expiration date. And then this summary, I'm spending $260 to buy it. I can make $240 on this trade. So once I'm happy with this, I click send order. And then I can close this window. So now if you go, so I just showed you the trade tab. The only other tab you need to worry about is the portfolio tab. So this is where all your positions will show up. So right now, okay, so I do have a position in Apple right now. And as you guys know, the market has been crazy. So I have some losers here. But this is the new position it says cancel order. This is the new position. This is how the orders which are pending will show up. Once the order gets filled, it'll look something like this. So it will not say pending. and you'll start seeing a gain and loss, and today's gain and loss and overall gain and loss and all that stuff. So now to close a position, all you have to do is select. In fact, let me not show you. Let me cancel this order so it's not confusing. So let's say your Apple order got filled, and you log into Tastyworks, you went to portfolio, and you click on this position where it shows you that you have sold a 280 call and you bought a 290 call, 25 days to go. To close this position, all you have to do is click on this and then click on this so that both of the options get selected. Now it's showing you two close positions. So now you can decide. You can click close at profit, and you can say, as soon as I get 90% of profit on this trade, I want to close it for some reason. And if you remember, in my book, I have mentioned that if after putting on a trade, the market whipsaws back and forth. So maybe this week I'm seeing a profit, next week I see a loss. In those situations, I don't wait for the end. So as soon as I get a 50% profit, I'll close my trade because the market is not showing me a clear direction. And as expiration approaches, if it goes against you, you don't have any time to recover. So what I do is in those situations, I'll just say, okay, fine, close it at 50% profit, and you can just do start closing order. It will do the calculations for you and place the order for you. But let's say immediately after putting your position, the market is going your way and your spreads are deep in the money. In that case, I just take the full profit. So I'll just select these two positions and I click close positions. And then it's just showing me that, this is the price you will get, and you can just click review and send. So it's really as simple as that. So again, to summarize, Tastyworks, when you log in, you'll be on the home tab. All you need to worry about is the portfolio tab, where you will see all your positions, and then the trade tab. And even in the trade tab, I've simplified it for you. The only thing you need to really focus on is go to strategies, vertical, and long call vertical, because that's the only trade I usually do, long call or long put. These are the only two strategies I use. Okay, let me see if there are any questions in the chat window. I'm trying to learn how to set an alert on a vertical spread in ThinkorSwim. I know how to set alerts on stocks, calls, but not on the spreads. I would like to be notified on my phone when a vertical spread is down to the 50% mark. Okay, so this is a really good question. So I was telling you about these guys, right? So let me go to the home tab. So this guy is Tom Sosnoff. He's the guy who made ThinkorSwim and then Tastyworks. So he doesn't believe in stop losses at all, because he thinks that the market makers they have full access to all the order flow, right? So the market makers can see where the stop losses are people are putting there, and they can drop the market, take all the stops out, and then bring the market back up. So he doesn't believe in stop loss orders. So that's why, in fact, in Tastyworks, you don't have a stop loss order for options. You do have stop losses for stocks, but not for options. So now going back to the question. So who is this who asked me the question? I think it's Marvin. So Marvin is saying that he doesn't want to put a stop. Let me switch back to ThinkorSwim here. So what he's saying is he doesn't want to put a stop loss order automatically in ThinkorSwim, but he wants to get notified, like a push notification on his phone, when his spread is near or at 50% loss. So then he can manage his position himself. So that can be done in ThinkorSwim. And the way you do is you go to, if trying to remember, I think you go to Market Watch tab. Yeah, you go to Market Watch tab, and it has this section called alerts. So what alerts are typically used for is, like, let me say Amazon. So trying to remember. how to, that doesn't look right. Sorry about that. He just caught me with this question. I wasn't prepared for it. I I know there is a way of adding an alert. Let's try Google, for example. Trade grade alert book. Okay, I can't remember how to set an alert right now, but I promise I will, when I send you guys the video after this session, I will write something about that. So to answer his question, yes, there is a way for you to not only get alerted when a stock goes down to a particular price, but there is also a way for you to get alerted when your spread drops to a particular price. So again, for example, let's say you bought a Google 12.15, 12.20 bull call spread for $2.50 or $250, and you want to get alerted when the spread drops down to 125, which means you have lost half of your investment. There is definitely a way of doing that, and for some reason I can't find it right now, but I will make sure that I include that in the email that I send you guys. Are there any other questions? We are a little over time. uh, if there are any more questions, I will take those. Otherwise, I think that will be it for today. Unfortunately, yeah, well, I didn't plan to be this to be a very detailed overview of the platforms. ThinkorSwim is very complicated, so I hope this gave you some information to get started. Feel free to email me or post questions on the Discord chat, and then um, I do have a question here. Oh yeah, of course, yeah, no problem at all. Somebody's saying thank you, Marvin. No problem. Yeah, so I have a 10-week course planned for us, and somebody asked me in the Discord chat, since the markets are so volatile right now. I mean, today was crazy. I mean, haven't seen a day like this since 2008. So since the markets are so crazy, there is no direction. So it's really hard for me to find a good point to get started. So although I'm still shooting for March 15th to get started, but if the markets still behave like this, I may delay it for a week. But uh, because what I want is when we start with our challenge, uh, I I don't want to be subject to this. You know, the volatility is out of control. If you see the VIX today, so I don't know if you guys know what VIX. VIX is the indicator. It's called the fear index of the market. So VIX usually stays between 12 to 20. I've never seen VIX at 54. That means what VIX is, it measures how many people are buying puts in the market to protect themselves. And usually hedge funds and mutual funds, they have to buy puts because they are dealing with millions of dollars, billions of dollars, and they can't lose other people's money when the markets go down. So to protect themselves, they'll buy puts, and this really shows you how many puts people are buying. So markets are like really irrational right now. So I'll wait for it to stabilize a little before we start the next challenge. But I also wanted to make sure that while you're in this challenge, you take something with you. So, you know, money comes and goes. But once you get knowledge, it's for you to keep. So that's why I've designed this 12-week course where I'll be going into details of ThinkorSwim, stock selection. I know I've shared my watch list with you, but there is certain criteria I use to pick a stock. Let's say you're interested in oil stocks. I don't do oil stocks, but if you want to pick oil stock, you have to make sure certain criteria are met so that uh, it will give you what you're trying to achieve with this methodology. So I'll cover liquidity, price, volume, how to make stock selections. Then I'll go into details about options, um, like option strike price expirations, option Greeks, then I'll go more into detail about spreads, like how does volatility help affect a spread, how does delta affect a spread, all that stuff. But anyway, so my course line is almost ready. I'll be emailing that in maybe a couple of days, and hopefully we'll still be able to start on March 15th. If not, I'll be doing weekly classes like this and going through the entire course that I've outlined for you guys. So again, thank you so much for joining. And either you can email me the questions or you can type in the Discord chat window and I'll be happy to answer that. Thanks again.